there are also new signs this morning that President Trump's legal troubles could be a big problem in a general election. An ABC News Ipsos poll conducted after President Trump was indicted a fourth time in Georgia this month shows half of Americans believe he should suspend his campaign. Let's bring in Dr. Lauren Wright, Associate Research Scholar and Lecturer in Politics and Public Affairs at Princeton University. Dr. Wright, good to see you. Always good to have you with us. Can I just first ask you, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this one, how do you, as a political expert, sift through the polls that you like and the polls that are just noise? Because I feel like for everyday Americans, there's 1,000 polls every day about Trump, about Biden, about what it would look like if they come head-to-head together next November. What do you pay attention to when it comes to polls?
That's a great question. I pay a lot of attention to polling averages. Lots of polls put together over time do give us a clear picture of the state of things in the electoral environment. National polls, yes, you have to be careful because that's not how elections are won in this country. It's a state-by-state affair. However, if you look at lots of different polls, make sure they're high quality polls and see averages, you do see trends that I think are informative. And most of those right now have, at least since April, probably longer, showed former President Trump ahead of the rest of the pack in the GOP race. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for clarifying that off the top, because I think a lot of Americans are just, we're living in a time of confusion right now with so many different statistics and polls. This specific one that we're talking about here, because he has been gaining in the polls lately, the GOP polls, says that the country remains, that he shouldn't run next year. Does that just show that we're still divided politically? How do you read this one?
Sure, it does. And, there's lots of other evidence we can point to that Trump is relatively weak on the national stage, besides the indictments, which I'm sure are alienating to a lot of Americans and a lot of moderate voters. That finding makes sense. But we know he lost in 2020. We know a lot of Americans do not support the way he behaved after January 6th. And by the way, that includes Republicans. I've been saying for the last few weeks, these claims that somehow the indictments are helping Trump in the primary, I don't see any evidence of that. I think maintaining support is entirely different than gaining new voters, which is what you need to become president. And a new study even shows that, for example, after the documents case, support among Republicans drops when you just ask questions a different way, which is an important part of sifting through polls, Marky.
And this poll was conducted before the first GOP debate, and now President Trump's his mugshot that was released after the booking, it's out there for everybody to see. So do you see any of that potentially shifting voters' opinions either way, just based on this photo and what we've been watching?
I don't. For Republicans who supported Trump before, they still love him, and no matter what he does, they will probably support him. But we should look into why that is, and it could be a variety of reasons. As we see Trump getting more attention because of these indictments, and many people would say, well, it's politics, and ever since P.T. Barnum, we've thought no publicity is bad publicity. Well, that's not exactly true. What else is happening at the same time? Ron DeSantis is slipping in the polls. More people are paying attention. And after January 6th, a lot of people left the Republican Party. So the group of Republicans that remains is more supportive of Trump, is more extreme ideologically. And so it's a different group of Republicans even than what we saw in 2020.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Lauren Wright, thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.